beautiful passing play right there, Sean.
What a save! Woo! Talk about a move.
Hey, Colin.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, have you had a chance to check out Conway and Banks hockey bags yet?
I have, sir. Today's episode is brought to you by Conway and Banks Hockey Bags, one of the finest and probably the top of the line hockey bag on the market right now, with their wonderful materials and everything else that goes along with the bag. If you want to keep on going for me, bud.
Oh, I would actually go so far as to say that it's the premier hockey bag. Whether it be your shins, elbows, your gloves, your helmet, it all has a special place, and it also comes in a very what's the word that I'm looking for with the quality of the bag is it's one of the premier bags. If you have kids that are just starting out, or kids that are just trying to be more responsible, or if you're that guy that used to throw all this stuff in and was always losing their gear, whether it be a glove off to the, at the rink under the bench, here you can just look straight down into your bag and be like, I got everything. I'm good to roll.
Yep, and another nice thing about it too is they have a multiple different styles. So they have player, they have coaches, they have the backpack that you can pre-order right now, and they have a goalie bag. Honestly, I'm looking to get one, and if you guys go using our promo code Grow City Hockey in all caps, you can get 10% off one of these high quality bags. And guys, we recommend it highly. They sent us one in, and it is a phenomenal bag with the dividers organized, and not to mention they also have these nice vents on the sides, so that way airflow gets in there and you can finally battle that horrible hockey smell. So guys, I don't think there's anything else to say about it other than go to Conway and Banks, check out these bags, and use our promo code Grow City Hockey in all caps for 10% off.
Get your Conway and Banks hockey bag now. Welcome to another exciting edition to Grow City Hockey Presents
Hockey in our neck of the woods, and you, sir, were a very talked about person towards the end.
I'm a fifth-year senior, kind of. Well, it's my sixth year of college. Incredible.
Welcome to the GCH podcast. I'm your host, Ben W. Stock, and with me is a very special guest. I have the owner of Ward's Smelling Salts. This stuff is probably the most potent stuff, smelling salt I've ever smelled, because my nose is still tingling from the Let's Play Hockey Expo a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Ben, thanks for having me. Happy to be here with you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Ward Smelling Salt, how you guys got into, the ammonia sniffing business.
Yeah, so Ward Smelling Salts was founded in 2019, and I started the company because I was just some guy that wanted to buy better quality smelling salts. What was out there in the market, there was two options. There was the snap ampules, which are a fixed potency, which aren't the strongest. And then there was the bottle style, which is what we do. And the other bottle style that was out there in the market was very weak, very ineffectual, very low quality, cheap packaging. And I was, as a consumer, I was confused. I just thought to myself, I want stronger smelling salts. Why can't I buy them? Right. So I said, well, maybe somebody can do it better. Maybe I could do it better. And I got to work. I've always been fascinated by chemistry. So I got to work on it. A couple months later, created a prototype, took it to a powerlifting meet, handed it out to a bunch of athletes. And by the end of the meet, I had a lineup of people coming up to me saying, holy, this is the strongest stuff we've ever tried in our entire lives. Where can we buy some? And I said, well, I guess we better start making more. And as time went on, a lot of pro teams, had the same problem. They just wanted stronger stuff. And the Calgary Flames reached out to us and they said, hey, can you send us all your smelling salts? We need some better stuff. And we did. And they said to us, hey, this stuff works amazing, but we find that after a couple of weeks, it seems to be dying down a lot. And what we figured out was that when you take the smelling salts in and out of the cold ice rinks and back to normal temperatures, it was having an effect on the potency, because normally the bottle will last 2 or 3 months, right?
Okay.
So this is where the hockey version was born. Hockey formulated for cold conditions, the one that you're holding right now.
Yep.
So what we discovered is we made some modifications to actually make this hold up to the cold temperatures of the ice rinks. And we released the hockey SKU. And now this is what you're going to see most NHL players using, like the Ryan Reeves video you just saw recently, most likely, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's exactly this that was in his hand there. And that's how the hockey SKU came to be. It was just a lot of trial and error and working with some really good athletes.
Yeah. So now, what is some of the benefits of using these smelling salts?
Yeah, for those who don't know, smelling salts, what they do is they cause a sudden release of adrenaline. And that's the real beauty of this product, is we're not actually ingesting something. We're not putting anything in our bloodstream, because all we're doing is the smelling salts irritate the mucous membranes of your nose, and your sense of smell is connected to your sympathetic nervous system, to give you the scientific version. And that makes your body basically go, oh crap, that's not oxygen, and enter a fight or flight response. And it dumps adrenaline in response. Adrenaline, our body already produces naturally. Or just, we're tricking our brain to give us an extra burst of adrenaline. And that also dilates our respiratory system, increases our heart rate, really sharpens and focuses you. In a fight or flight response, that's what your body is doing. It's hyper focusing to perform, to survive. Right. And so athletes use this. Back in the day, people would use smelling salts after getting a concussion or hit in the head to wake themselves back up. Yep. Nowadays, athletes realize, hey, we can take that adrenaline beforehand, before we're going to jump on the ice, so we can skate faster, shoot harder, score more goals, hit harder. That adrenaline really gives you that extra boost, but also it's a mental thing. It gets your head in the game, right? So, and unlike energy drinks, where we're actually consuming like caffeine, putting stuff in our bloodstream, we're not putting anything foreign into our bodies. We're not putting anything into our bloodstream. It's just a trick to wake up your brain.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So now, this is definitely not the strongest stuff you've got, though, either, is it? You've got some that's called triple X or double XL Insanity, right?
We had a couple SKUs in the past here. So we have Bottled Insanity. That's one you're referring to. This one is marketed towards. This is our original product. So this is like what we made for the powerlifting market, gym, other sports. And then we made the hockey variation to hold up in the cold conditions. Yep. And in the past, we have played around with stronger formulations. We had a product we had called Doom Cylinder, and it was just over the top, stupid strong. Almost nobody could handle it. I just kept getting comments from pro athletes saying, this is just too strong, man. We can't use this. Right. So we can make it stronger, but we choose not to, because there is a limit of functionality before it becomes so strong that you just can't use it functionally. Right.
So now, when you purchase a Ward smelling salt, it comes with its own little teaspoon, right? You just put a teaspoon of water in. It's got its little cup that you put it in. You drop it in, and then you just shake it up, and then you're good to go, right? That's pretty much the gist of that?
Yeah, that's one of the improvements that we made to our product, because the way this product works, I'll show you the hockey one, is there's 2 chemicals in there that are reacting to produce the ammonia, which is the smelling salt. But until you add water, nothing happens. Right. So that means when you buy it at a store or you order it online, it's not losing potency already over time. You can't get an expired version, for example. Instead, when you get it, then you add the water with that red little spoon. So it comes with a spoon in the bottle. You pull that out, you add the water, and that starts the chemical reaction for the first time. So that means if you buy 3 bottles, you have 2 sitting on your shelf at home, they're not going to go bad because you haven't added the water yet. Right. And once you add the water, chemical reaction starts, and a bottle will typically last about 2 months or so after you add the water. So you get a lot of life out of it. You can pass it around the whole bench. The whole team's using it, right?
Yep. Yeah. My fiance, she lost her sense of smell several years ago, almost like 15 years ago or something like that. And I was just like, I wonder if she could smell this.
What was the
And
result?
oh, it
Yeah.
was funny. She didn't throw it up to her nose like I did, because what I did was I just went right inside after you had warned me, hey, don't stick your nose inside it. And here I am going, I'm just gonna shove my whole nostril in there. And yeah, that woke me up real quick. And then so when she tried it, she had it like probably about like yay far away, and she's like, oh wow, I can really start to smell that. But like anything else, like she has no sense of smell. But that ammonia, it really woke her up.
Well, that's how strong it is, eh? Even
Yeah.
people who can't smell can smell it.
Yeah, I know, it was pretty cool. So but yeah, so that's definitely a pitch that I would use, is even people who can't smell can smell it.
Yeah. Yeah, very good. Well, I'm glad she was able to, we call it a
Yeah.
minor recovery.
Cool. So now, do you guys have any your plans for the future with this? I mean, is there other products that you're kind of developing that you can kind of talk about?
In the future, we got some plans to change the delivery mechanism of it, because right now
Okay.
there is a lid. You have to unscrew the lid, you smell it, and you put the lid
Yep.
back on. Now, for 90% of people, that is perfectly okay. But there are some athletes in fast-paced sports where they don't have the time to put the lid back on necessarily. And that's an important step, because if you leave the lid off, it'll just keep escaping, right? The gas. So we are looking at maybe some options for a mechanism that would be able to do one-hand operation, for example.
Okay.
So that's in the pipeline. Otherwise, we're very happy with our formula. We're very happy with the efficacy of it. I mean, the videos prove it. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So there's no need to go any stronger, but I think convenience can be improved for our customers, especially customers who are in sports where they have to wear gloves or something, and operating the lid with a glove on can be very difficult, right? So we're just looking at convenience modifications to make the product better.
Yep. Cool. Well, and then it also is like product inclusivity with those with disabilities too. Especially with those that have an amputation of some sort. So that'll definitely help,
There's a lot of
in the para community.
Paralympics.
I guess you could say. Yeah.
Yeah, we do a lot of sponsorships with that kind of community as well. And so yeah, there's a good point to that. One hand operation could be a lot better for a lot of people there. So and we do a lot of sponsorship for Paralympic stuff, like bench press competitions and intro classes for powerlifting. Less on the hockey side, more on the lifting side.
Right. But that's awesome, man. So if you wanted to purchase, where would you go? To just wardsmellingsalts.com?
We got a lot of really good retailers in the US and Canada. Chances are, if you go into your local sporting goods store, you might be able to find it there. And if you can't, you should ask the store why not? Why don't they carry it?
Right.
And bug them to bring it in. But otherwise, yeah, we have our website, wardsmellingsalts.com. We're on Amazon, of course, as well. Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, and Germany and Australia as well. And then otherwise, there's also a lot of online retailers that carry it as well. So, support local. I always say, if your store carries it, buy it from them. Otherwise, we are available online as well.
That's awesome. So now you just said you guys have you carry out in other countries. What other countries do you guys do besides Germany, Australia, and the couple that you mentioned? Yeah,
right now we export to Germany, which also helps service a lot of the EU. We are going to be exporting to the UK soon. UK a lot more focused on the strength sports side versus the hockey side, while Germany will service a lot of those hockey-based countries. And we also do export to Australia as well. Those are, of course, the lowest hanging fruit, the easiest, because they speak English. And we are working on exporting to Japan as well. Japan has quite the emerging market for hockey and stuff like that as well. So we are
with the emergence of Chinese Taipei at the World's skate games this past year. I don't know if you know too much about that inline side of it, but they went and just dominated the whole division. The junior men's, and then they sent the junior men's team. I think there was only like 4 or 5 kids that were not on that junior men's national team into the senior men's and they took like third place, so it was pretty impressive. They won outright, and they were just scoring goals left and right. I mean, it was like 17-2
Oh wow.
some of these games, and a couple years ago, nobody would have been like, this Chinese Taipei team's the team to look out for. So yeah, so it was pretty impressive. Like that, the Asian market is starting to really pick up and kind of catch up with the rest of the world.
Yeah, we're happy to see that, of course, and we're here for it. We're here to service it because smelling salts are not just a hockey thing. Smelling salts are used in all kinds of sports, with maybe the exception of long distance running, marathons, stuff like that, right? I mean, we've heard some of the craziest stories from our customers about things we would have never thought of for using smelling salts. One lady, she sent us a comment that she uses it to practice her pole dancing. Yeah, pole dancing, because it gives you that extra burst of adrenaline, which lets you, it's a strength thing, right? Anytime you got to perform strength-wise, adrenaline helps. And so she uses it to master pole dancing tricks. Guys use it for downhill mountain biking.
Oh, cool.
That was another one that surprised me. Little less surprising was arm wrestling. And then just, a ton of people telling us they use it to help them wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It beats it. I would tell you this. I don't drink coffee, but this would beat coffee hands down.
Yeah, it works a lot different than coffee. There's no burnout like coffee and caffeine, right? It's a different mechanism altogether. Yeah, guy. And the way I always explain it to people is, if they want to know really what this feels like and they have never tried it before, the way I explain it is, if you've ever been driving in a car down the road and you're getting really sleepy and you can't keep your eyes open. You know that feeling where, like, no matter how hard you try and keep your eyes open, you push your eyelids up, they keep closing on you. So you roll down the window in your car and then you turn up the radio and you start slapping yourself a little.
Yep.
And you're like, you just can't stay awake. And then you slowly drift and you almost drive into the ditch. And then suddenly you're awake. You're like, holy shit, I almost just crashed into the ditch, right?
Yeah.
And now your heart's pounding and now you're awake. And now you're good. That's smelling salts. Because what just happened is you almost crashed and your body released a bunch of adrenaline, and now you're awake. And that's exactly what smelling salts do.
That's amazing, because that's exactly what I was actually anticipating you kind of going in that direction. So it's like when you're just trying to keep yourself awake, and all of a sudden you hit those rumble strips, and you're just like, whoa, what just happened? And then I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
And you're like sticking your head out the window because you're trying to get that cold air to really wake you up, so
it's a big slap in the face, and it works great. And that's why guys are using it. Guys will take it to the office, have it in their desk drawers before sales calls and stuff. Like at the end of the day, it's for athletes, but it's also for everyone. It's good fun and works.
So I actually keep this at my workstation. I'm a shipping clerk. So when I'm processing orders and I'm sitting there and I've already done, 350 orders, and I'm starting to go like this, my bosses are coming up from behind me and they're like, "Are we done yet?" And I'm like, yeah, just about. So I'll pull this out, give it a quick sniff, and then I'm right back to it. So it's
the many uses of smelling salts, eh?
Yeah, it's crazy, but it works, and I would highly recommend Ward Smelling Salts for that pick me up.
Yeah, appreciate that.
So, how safe is using smelling salts, and what age would you recommend the use of smelling salts, especially your product?
Yeah, it's a really good question, and one we hear very often. So, is smelling salts safe? No one in history has ever been hospitalized for the use of smelling salts in sports or recreation. It's never happened. Because, like I said in the previous question before, was that it causes a release of adrenaline from your brain. We're not putting anything foreign in our body. So if a kid goes to a 7-Eleven or a gas station right now and they buy 12 energy drinks, no one's going to stop them. And that kid can drink all 12 energy drinks and no one's going to stop them. And that kid's going to end up in the hospital. End of story. Right? Someone goes right now and buys some smelling salts, opens a bottle, smells it 12 times, nothing bad's going to happen. Can you overuse smelling salts? Well, it is irritating the mucous membranes of your nose, right? So if you're using it 12 times a day, every day, nonstop, you're going to have a pretty sore nose. But you're not going to end up in the hospital like the energy drinks. So when you look at that, something that's available in every single corner store, this is so wildly safe in comparison. But then people ask, what is the age range you should use? Well, at the end of the day, the smelling salt is very unpleasant, right? It works because it's unpleasant. I mean, getting slapped in the face or punched in the face causes a release of adrenaline too, and it works, but it's unpleasant, right? No one likes getting punched in the face. So the result, we don't usually recommend it for young kids because A, they don't need it. Let them develop, and work on their skills without external stimuli. And also, it just hurts. So, we usually say around 16 or so is a, very normal age, but we're realistic. We know 14-year-olds and younger are using it. But from our point of view, we usually think 14, 16, somewhere around there is kind of
the average
normal, the average. And there is no regulations on this. There is no recommended age by any formal governing body, right? So it's at the end of the day, just like, there's no recommended age for drinking orange juice. There's no recommended age for smelling salts. So,
right. Well, that's cool. But to send it out, I'm Ben W. Stock. Thanks, Patrick, for taking the time to talk about your product here. I appreciate you very much. And, hope to see you soon, man.
Yeah, appreciate it very much. Thanks for having me, and enjoy those salts.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Cool.
Bye for now.